Back in the day, Lamborghini was the first exotic car maker to launch a super SUV, and now, well, it's time to raise the bar even higher by embracing hybrid technology. After the closest relative, Porsche Cayenne, brought 3 hybrid variants, it's time for its hotter and more exclusive Italian cousin to do the same. The 2025 Lamborghini Urus SE is here as the world's first hybrid super SUV, so let's take a closer look. Lamborghini's SUV has been around for a while, so the company thought that adding just a new powertrain wouldn't be enough. Instead, this model gets a pretty massive makeover with significantly updated styling from various aspects. Although subtle, the changes are pretty effective, so just one look is enough to notice a completely new front-end design. Probably the first thing to notice is the new Matrix LED headlamps that, along with the new bumpers and power dome hood design, create a perfect synergy. Speaking of the restyled bumper, it's worth mentioning that it features new air intakes that, besides visual, also have practical function in the way that brake cooling gets improved by 30%. But that's not all. The whole body kit is new, and it includes new spoilers, new diffusers, side skirts, and many more. Of course, they have a big visual impact, but they haven't been updated just for the sake of styling. The new Urus features a 15% improved aerodynamic efficiency, along with a 35% improved downforce, so we definitely expect to see improved performance in every aspect. Back to the styling. Another thing we almost forgot to mention is the new liftgate design with a massive center crease, while more Y-pattern graphics are also pretty easy to notice. Then, there's a new set of 23-inch Galanthus wheels with 285/35 front and 325/30 rear Pirelli P0 tires joining the options list. And if you think that's too much, check this out. There are over 100 exterior color options, so it's pretty legal to say that everyone can find their favorite nuance. Okay, now that we've made a short introduction to these cosmetic changes, let's get to the point. Let's put the form aside and focus on the substance. The 2025 Lamborghini Urus SE comes with a plug-in hybrid setup, and at first glance, it's pretty clear that the setup has a lot of similarities with the Porsche Cayenne's electrified version. Of course, the system is based on a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 gasoline engine which is, for this occasion, tuned to around 620 horsepower. And it gets massive help from a 192 horsepower electric motor, so the combined output is actually notably higher compared to the Cayenne Turbo E Hybrid. Instead of 739, the max output goes all the way up to 790 horsepower. And just like in gas-only Urus, all that power is sent through a familiar 8-speed automatic gearbox, to all wheels of course. The max torque is rated at 701 pound-feet, and thanks to the capable electric motor, it's available already at 1750 RPM, while the aforementioned 790 horsepower is available at around 6000 RPM. In other words, this isn't a typical high-revving V10 Lambo, it's a low and mid-range monster. But what does all this additional power and torque mean in practice? The Urus S was already a pretty impressive machine, and from what we could hear unofficially, the plug-in hybrid is expected to be 0.1 seconds quicker than the gas-only version, so 0 to 62 should take around 3.4 seconds, which is still slightly slower compared to the Performante version. Of course, the massive battery is one of the reasons, but once the SE gains momentum, it surpasses the Performante in the way that it needs 0.1 seconds less to hit 124 miles per hour. Moreover, it's also slightly better when it comes to top speed, which goes up to 194 miles per hour. Besides impressive takeoffs, the Urus SE is also pretty impressive when it comes to braking distance. Thanks to carbon ceramic brakes, which are part of the standard equipment, this SUV brakes from 70 miles per hour to a stop in just 149 feet. Clearly, the Urus SE is a fantastic straight-line performer, but this SUV is actually far more than that. Its well-designed chassis and super refined suspension are the reason why high-speed cornering works fantastic in the case of Urus, while the super precise steering is also a major contributor to the overall impressive driving experience. Speaking of the suspension setup, air springs are part of the standard equipment in all models at all 4 corners, so it's super easy to adjust the ride height and other parameters. And the range of adjustability options is quite impressive, as the new plug-in hybrid adds 4 new drive modes: EV drive, hybrid, performance, and recharge. These modes join the old ones such as Strada, Sport, Corsa, Neve, Sabbia, and Terra, so there are a total of 10 drive settings you can select. Quite an overkill, some would say. As mentioned, even though notably more powerful, the Urus SE is slightly slower than gas-only Performante when it comes to 0 to 60. And one of the reasons is the massive 25.7 kWh battery pack, which feeds the aforementioned 192 horsepower electric motor. But on the other hand, that battery also ensures a maximum EV range of 37 miles. With the selected EV mode, you can actually enjoy quite a respectable cruising speed of 81 miles per hour, and one of the things to like is that once you press the pedal harder, there's no need for mode changes. The vehicle will automatically engage the gas engine. As for the fuel efficiency, details are still unavailable, but we presume things are going to be pretty similar to the Cayenne hybrid, which returns around 40 mpg equivalent. According to the manufacturer, the biggest actual benefit is the reduction of carbon emissions, which goes down by 80% compared to the gas-only model. Details about charging are still unavailable, but we presume that the Urus SE will come with the same 11 kW onboard charger as the Cayenne. We already talked about the impressive range of exterior color options. Well, things are also pretty impressive on the inside, where you have a choice of 47 color schemes. Also, even though the dashboard and the rest of the cabin look quite familiar, the actual layout has been slightly revised. The infotainment system feels a bit more intuitive, while voice controls and driver assistance systems have been updated and upgraded as well. But overall, the design is pretty close to the original, with a lot of typical Lambo drama. Multicolored instruments, hexagonal air vents, and jet fighter design cues all around. It's the Urus we already knew, full of faux suede and carbon fiber interior pieces. The infotainment system, as usual, comes directly from Audi, and it fits the cabin pretty nicely, while reconfigurable instruments also have roots in the Ingolstadt-based company. The lower screen on the center stack also carries without bigger changes, and that's definitely our least favorite part of the cabin, considering that digital climate controls are nowhere near as intuitive as classic physical knobs and buttons. Even though the screen is slightly bigger, it still looks busy and generic. On the other hand, we're so happy to see Lambo remaining faithful to its nature and preserving those classic toggle switches and caged starter buttons. But what has always been the biggest strength of the Urus interior is its spacious and practical cabin, which creates a unique blend of supercar manners and practicality. That's something you can hardly find in any other place. The overall cabin layout remains the same, so once again, you may count on generous second-row passenger space. And just like in gas-only models, buyers have a choice between a classic rear bench and optional rear bucket seats. In both cases, adults fit with ease, while even the cargo area seems quite generous with 22 pounds of total capacity. The new electrified Lamborghini Urus SE has just been presented, but it's not expected to become available in North America before early 2025. As for the price, most sources suggest it's going to be on par with the gas-only Urus Performante, which would mean around $275,000 for the base version. As for the rest of the lineup, we didn't see any notable changes, not even in terms of aesthetics. According to the officials, the company plans to keep gas-only versions on sale for a few more years, while the current generation is expected to remain in production until 2029, when the new all-electric version is expected to come as a replacement. According to some sources, Lamborghini expects to become an electric-only brand sometime in the 2030s. What do you think of the 2025 Lamborghini Urus SE? Is this really the ultimate Urus, or would you rather stick with the gas-only Performante? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.